Good day everyone, my name is Jeremiah and this is my agentic app, which is a flight app. We got our database from GitHub, that is transportation flights. The purpose of this application is to make sure that um, booking, flights, checking the nearest routes, the closest routes to the airport you're going, all is seamlessly done within one app and using the likes of LangChain, GraphX, and also ArangoDB. So let's jump right into it. The first thing is to open our Collab notebook, which in this case is this. Now we're going to run through the notebook. So we install our dependency, which is the first, of course. So we install our dependencies. I'll advise that if you're using this notebook, you are to use GPU connected to it. However, you can use CPU also. It also works fine. It works very fine. So after we're done with that, we also import our libraries for the Python application in our notebook file. So wait for it. So when we're done with that, we are using the temporary cloud hosting. So in order to get that, we simply go to ArangoDB, that is the ArangoDB site, and we just book. We do something like this. So we can see it just gives us a temporary login. So for the purpose of this video, we're using the temporary login to demonstrate how the flight agentic application works. Then we'll also go to Azure to collect our API key. So we'll load that also into our notebook file. Now this is our data set. We are picking just two for this video because of the space, but here is the data set flights, which can be found and also will be left in the description. It's basically to enable information about route, airport, airline, and its structure. So once we open it, here's what we're going to see: airport CSV, flight CSV. We only picked two out of it, and that's what we use: airports CSV and flights CSV. So we load that into our notebook file. Having done that, now we create our graph on ArangoDB. So we see that our flight graph has been created. If we head to ArangoDB, to the graphs, you can see our flight graphs. Currently it's just 0 node. We're just showing it. The more we add in more nodes, edges from this flight CSV, the better it is for us. So the last thing we want to do is to run the application's NLP in order to retrieve and to demonstrate. So it's running live, and we can view flights, we can find the shortest flight routes, we can do AI assistant, we can compute what we call PageRank algorithm, or we can convert NLP to AQL. So if we want to view flights, for example, we'll press 1 and it shows us using a graph. So we're using we're reading information directly from ArangoDB, in order to view flights. As you can see, our content has been loaded into this graph. So here was the airport that we loaded. So we could also, for example, use travel AI assistance, and we could ask a question. Let's say, what is the closest airport? We could just ask a random question. The LLM uses, of course, the chain, and it gives us an answer. In this case, here is ArangoDB query language, find the closest airport. So we could also convert NLP, okay, to AQL query when, for example, 5. So if we are not sure at all what AQL is, using this we could actually convert it, and it allows for mistake. For example, if we just put or a random text and we enter it, the NLP guides us on how to write it. It doesn't just spit out an error. For example, say it seems like a query is incomplete, could you please provide a more detailed query? So using this application, not only is flight data sets, including information about routing airports, is provided, but it provides a graph of which we can link this airport. For example, if you want to travel, if you want to go to the nearest location, you could actually make this a reality simply by using this SkyRoute AI, which is an NLP that allows for flight checking, finding the shortest routes, AI assistance, compute PageRank algorithm, convert NLP to AQL, and also can exist. So let's say we want to compute PageRank algorithm, for example. So we can see here was the answer it gave us. So currently we're just using two values out of this very long value that we have been shown. But if we want to use more, here's our data set. We will load in as many as we want. So using this thing, routing is seamless thanks to GraphX, Graph RAG, of course, ArangoDB, which loaded our graph, and we can visualize it in reality, okay? And also to store our database for read and write purposes. We could also put in queries like I showed us earlier. So not only is seamless booking of flights if you are in the airline tycoon business, not only is it possible, but you could also use NLP to write AQL like I just showed us right now. Okay, you could use NLP to write AQL in various locations, however you want it, and maybe for example store it in your ArangoDB. Okay, you store it, so you do not necessarily need knowledge of what this thing is. You could actually just do this thing. So thank you very much.